evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you for listening to a conversation on run or walk and how to do it pain-free. My name is Nadia Touch. I'm certified health, life, and fitness coach, and I'm also senior director in Shaklee, and I love running. Today, Bob gave us a task to have a conversation with Chris Bartholomew. Did I say it right, Chris?
Oh, perfect.
He is a Shaklee Business Development Manager and Sport Nutrition. And Chris, I know you also love running. We see you running almost every day. You post beautiful pictures. You motivate and inspire us. And I'm so looking forward to hear more information how you do it so successfully.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you both for the invitation.
Yes, and thank you. And folks, if you have any questions, Bob is here monitoring the chat. So if you have something to say or want to know more information, go ahead and type in your question and Bob will let us know close to the end of this conversation, and we will do our best to answer your questions. So let's dive in.
Ready.
Ready. Okay, folks, no matter where you are right now, whether you just want to start walking, maybe longer distances that you used to, or maybe jogging or running, no matter what your physical fitness level is, this conversation will be really helpful for all fitness levels. We're going to talk about 3 major points. I believe Chris will agree with me. How to do it pain-free and really how to do it when you enjoy it. I hear so often, I hate running. And it always makes me wonder what's behind that expression, why we don't like running. All right, Chris, well, and go ahead and jump in. Anything you would like to share? How did you start running?
Well, I think I came into running late in life. I just turned 40 actually, and I feel like I'm at the top of my game now. So not in high school, not in college. Like I'm just discovering this world of running, which I really love. I focus mostly on trail running, and I love endurance distances. So that is anything over a marathon. So I realize that can seem extreme or obsessive for people to relate to, I suppose. But I feel like even if you're beginning running or you're, an ultra runner, like I call myself, the principles are the same. It's, I think you're going to hit on a lot of these.
Yeah. Interesting. That's why you have so many miles I see on Strava app. You're on top of our chart, and I was wondering, so you're the long distance. Wow.
Yes, I almost got 400 miles in January. I think I was 6 miles short.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
I'm actually 1 year older than you are, and I started running, I believe, back in 2016. I remember on January 1st, I did maybe one of my first 5Ks at the health club, and I saw the sign, every day is a leg day. Let's train for half marathon in 12 weeks. And I thought, wow, 12 weeks and I can do my first half marathon, which is 13.1 miles. So I signed up, and before, what happened to me when I was running, whether I run 3 miles or 6 miles with my friend who was literally pulling me forward because I was in pain, I could not walk for about 3 days. My hips were hurting, my knees were hurting. I clearly wasn't doing something right until I joined a proper training, and just with one tip that the coach gave me, I'm still pain-free. It is just amazing. And now I can do full marathon, and I know how to do it properly. So let's dive in. What I was thinking that we can cover 3 major aspects is really the physical readiness. So what you need to know for your body to do it pain-free and do it where you enjoy it and happily. And then we'll dive into nutrition. I know you have some tips for us as well. And the third, really one of the most important will be the mindset. How does it sound?
Love it.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of mindset, I believe that all of us, well, we start activities with some kind of purpose, isn't it? We have our objective why we're doing it. So usually in my health coaching, I also start with the question why. Why do you want to lose this weight? Why do you want to feel healthier and feeling better? So when we are diving into this physical activity, whether it's jogging, running, or fitness walking, my question is why? Why do we do this? For me, I decided if I can run half marathon, I can do at least build my half business of the half volume. If I do full marathon, I know I can do it all in any other area of my life. So this was my initial why. How about you, Chris? Why are you running?
Well, I had someone recently ask me, like, what are you running away from? That was their kind of point blank, how you doing? They said, what are you running away from? And I don't look at running as running away from things. I see running, for me, it's I'm running towards myself and I'm running to things. So I think I have enjoyed running so much in the past couple of years for the mental health benefits, I suppose, for stress relief, and and everything else. Whenever I found that I started running seriously when I moved to California and was kind of in a dire economic situation as far as like trying to pay rent and all the bills, student loans, everything had mounted up, and it was the perfect storm. And I just felt like my mental state was the lowest it had ever been. And I'm a big believer in taking action when you want to solve problems. And even if it's unrelated, running was the action that I could take. And I found that when I would run, I felt like I was running towards myself in a sense that I felt that I was gaining control over these different things in my life that I felt were spinning out of control. And while I was running, I felt like everything would sort out in my mind, and I would finish my run with kind of an objective list of, I need to do, this and this and this. I need to talk to this and this person. And I felt like I was just, I had to initiate the action in order for those other areas of my life to come into balance. And now, sure, there's stress with everybody's lives, right? But I feel that I enjoy it so much that I've adopted it into my everyday regimen.
Wow. So for mental health, stress relief, being in control, being in action, and sorting out questions, problems. Now it's interesting. I can relate to you. Somebody asked me recently, what do you think about when you run, especially the whole time? And I gave her a few ideas. I said, I actually don't listen to the music. First of all, the tip here, when you listen to the music, you focus on the music, not your body. Mm-hmm. And if I have a question that I can't bring the resolution, I need an answer, I bring that question or the issue or the problem or the stress for that run time. And I just be with it. I don't push it. I don't force it. It's just there. I am aware of this is what I'm running with. So at the end of the run, something somehow clicks and I get an answer. Always, always, always. And it's just so clear, one answer. So it's really, as you say, running towards me. It's that being that you can't explain until you do it.
Right, exactly.
Yes. All right, folks. So know your why and why you're starting it. And the next point as a fitness trainer, I think it's very important, is really know your body. We can start running, whether on the treadmill or outdoors, but if your body is not yet conditioned, you have certain limitations, you have certain injuries, knees, I hear a lot of complaints. You may bring more damage than the benefit. So Chris, anything that you would like to say about how do we start or how do we continue safely?
I think where I really found progress is my colleague at work, Mark Ramirez. maybe some of you know of him. He's been running marathons for 50 plus years and just an avid runner. And so when I first started working with him, I was running maybe once or twice a week, and I was trying 5 miles would be my maximum because I was sore afterwards. And so I would come to the office the next day and kind of limp around. And Mark Ramirez, going back to the point, is he recommended active recovery for me. And I have really come to believe this. And it has its limitations. Like if you really have injuries, you've got to listen to your body, and it's not time to move necessarily. But with general soreness that comes from exercise, I found the best way to recover from that is to keep moving. Maybe that's moving at a different pace or walking, but to keep the blood flowing to those muscles. And now I can run, I run almost every day. And maybe that's not sustainable forever, but I do feel that my muscles actually are better off when I have, limited or extended activity every day. And that works for me. So I think that principle can apply to everyone in some sense. Just keep moving.
Yes, definitely, definitely. It's one of the major mistakes that we do when we exercise, especially when we push hard that day. The next day and sometimes the following day, we're so sore that we don't want to move. So we don't. And actually what needs to happen is keep moving. Your body will recover faster. You will build your muscles better. So as you say, keep moving. Yes. And I remember when I just started with my run club, so I got a couple of good tips, and my trainer brought me the book. He said, read it. The book is called Chi Running. So folks, if you're interested, TCHI running. So it's like Chi energy. And that's actually the concept. I read this book from cover to cover, and he actually gives exercises per body part. For example, he shows how to focus on shoulders. He gives you exercise to practice at home, and then you go and you practice that body part while you run. So one body part per run. And it was amazing. You go through your whole entire body and you learn how to move properly, whether it's actually a fast walk or it's running. So you practice that form, Chi running. Amazing. And I would actually recommend, if you don't want to buy a book, you can go on YouTube, and I believe there will be plenty of options as well to look him up. It's a very old book, old technique. But he had the same story. He just did not like running. He was hurting. Then he learned this technique over very many years, and then he became ultra, double, triple marathoner in one day. So something crazy. So Chi running. A beautiful book. And keep moving. Also, what I do with I train 3 times a week. So speaking, one of my ideas was to give you all is choose the way you want to keep moving. You want to run or jog, how many times a week. And you can just say I'm a runner, right? You're an athlete, so it's not just running as your workout. You've got to incorporate other types of workouts. With me, I only run 3 times a week, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. And before I start running, I do dynamic stretches. For example, shuffles, sideways, high knees, where I jump up and down with my knees, butt kicks, where the feet go towards my butt, and I just warm up my muscles. It's really important to warm up your muscles before you start, especially if it's a fast-paced running. And the slow, static stretches afterwards, and especially if you're sore the day after and the following day, isn't it? Chris, anything to add?
Yes, I'm not so good at remembering to stretch, but something that I do almost every day is like I give myself 2 miles to warm up before I try to push it. And so it's like a slow and steady pace until I feel like I've found my flow and the correct movement. And then after that, I feel like I can push it. So, and that's a mental thing as well. Like when I wake up and I just don't feel like getting out of bed, I have to talk myself into just do 2 miles. You can go back to bed after that if you want to, but I mean, I never do, because by that point I've given myself the time to ease into it, and then I can go.
Are you one of those people who are prepare the night before? You put your running clothes close to your bedside or close to your bathroom, so when time to get up,
I would like to be, I would like to be, but I usually fail. That's usually not me, and so uh, I'm someone, I'm the storm in the morning. I'm the hurricane trying to put everything together to get out the door.
In my case, I actually prepare the night before. So literally, as soon as I wake up, I already see, here's my tennis shoes, here's my clothes. I have an order, what I put first, second, third, before my brain kicks in saying, it's too warm in your room. I'm already dressed. But
No, if you can eliminate decisions in the morning or whenever your time is, that will definitely get you there with, fewer obstacles. So I definitely suggest that. I think that's admirable, and something to aspire to. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Mel Robbins was very helpful for me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
especially for those who want to do it in the morning, we want to, and we just talk ourselves out of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it. And when you have clothes nearby, it's easier to do it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. All right. And Chris, do you have any particular way you run? Do you have a particular technique you're using? I know you mentioned that you run almost 10 miles every day. So anything that you would like to share how you do it? What's your approach?
Yes. So 10 miles is my base, and I often feel disappointed if I don't go above that every day. I think a few years ago, I really tried to focus on, I think Born to Run was a book that was very popular at that time. And it was all about barefoot running, which I don't subscribe to at all. But there were many techniques, like you mentioned. It was focusing on the forward movement and not being a heel striker. And that worked for me to focus on the technique where you're going with your intention forward and just focusing on that. And that really helped me feel like I was learning how my body needed to run.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, 10 miles is quite a bit of distance. Yes, and sometimes I get questions. So what would you recommend, especially for the beginners who would like to start running? And the first question, how do I do it? And there are different variations. Of course, again, it depends. Listen to your body, what works well. I actually started with run walk. So most of us have sport watch or some kind of watch that can help us with timer. My timer was 4-minute run, 1-minute walk. And I will just go for very many miles just like this. So if there is a sip of water, a little snack, or just take a breather, you have this 1 minute of walking, or 3-minute running, 30-second walking. Just depends what works for you.
Yeah, very good method. And I think that applies at all distances, from beginner to longer distances. It's those, you've got to give yourself some variety and a break.
Right. Chris, what do you wear when you run? Any tips for us? Shoes, any clothing?
Nothing special, honestly. And although I have found over the years, when I first started, I thought, cotton shirts are just fine. But now I've realized, like, I do like the, polyester blend, because one, the temperature changes so frequently in the Bay Area that I find that, having lots of layers, depending on the temperature when I start, but being able to take something off, put something on, really helps.
Right. Yes. And proper shoes.
Definitely. And that's a lifelong journey, I think, to find the best shoes.
And change them, especially if you run many, many miles, change them frequently. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Proper shoes can help with preventing knee pain, hip pain. Yeah. All right. So Chris, how about nutrition? I am pretty sure you've got your own regimen, how you're using basic diet, Shaklee nutrition. Can you share with us, what do you do? Anything that you eat before, anything that you eat on the run after? What's your magic?
So great question. I feel like when I didn't notice great progress in my running until I actually started paying attention to my nutrition for some reason. And I feel like people share this, like you think that, like, you know, we are good enough. We are good enough as we are. But I had a resistance to taking any kind of supplements or, you know, even caffeine, protein at the beginning, because I thought, like, I don't need to complicate this. But when I did, I noticed significant improvement. And where I did notice was when I started taking a multivitamin every day, and then a protein. And where I did notice it was I would go for a long run in the morning, and then I would, you know, take my, you know, Shaklee Life Shake or Build Shake and PM Recovery Complex after that first run even. And then I noticed after 20 to 30 minutes, I felt like I was ready to go again. And so that combination of like the multivitamin and the protein shake for me really sort of stabilized, I think, my nutrition and my diet to where I did see progress and felt that I could keep moving on. There are several other Shaklee supplements that I take. I take joint complex every day. You know, these knees aren't getting any younger, but they feel like they are. And then gosh, a little bit of everything. I love my clean energy sources that Shaklee provides. I honestly, I love the energizing tea, the matcha energizing tea, but I also love energy chews and the 0 calorie in the right context. And so I take a mix of all of those. And I think those definitely help with some motivation and some drive, especially in those morning hours. And then the Hydrate Plus with the healthy carbohydrates, Optilite, electrolyte blend is amazing. I have seen that really help me with immediate and also sustained energy release. So those are kind of the main ones that I focus on. How about you?
Well, I got a long recipe, but I'm not sure I'm going to share this long recipe. So what I hear from you, and I'll share mine as well. What you just said, I use that as well. I believe that strong foundation, I usually say, it's like the house. You want to have a strong foundation in your house. So the good multivitamin, the protein shake create that strong foundation. So that really daily diet is so important, and the multivitamin and the shake becomes a part of your daily diet. And so the other Shaklee products, I believe, what I would usually say when you want to really run happily, do take care of your regular diet. So whatever you eat as your regular meal, as close to natural and our 7-day cleanse as possible. Lots of vegetables, good carbohydrates, a really good balanced diet. That's where you produce your natural energy. Like, I know I can run without Shaklee supplements just great. And with Shaklee supplements, what I get that edge that I may not get otherwise with regular diet.
Yes.
So let's say if I have on Monday, Thursday on my speed training, sometimes you see me posting on Strava, I just warm up and I burst back and forth, depending on what training we do. I do use, I think they're called performance sport nutrition. Now we have two, endurance and performance, so low calorie, because I'm not burning that many calories. And when I go for a long run on Saturday, that's where I enjoy endurance, our old performance, as I call it. Joint health complex is always a part of my routine. I started taking recovery and I really noticed the difference. I can just wake up and do it again. That's why I work out every day now.
Isn't that amazing, that feeling of waking up? And like sometimes when I go to bed, I'm so exhausted. I think there's no way I'm going to want to exercise tomorrow. And that gift that the nutrition has given me is I wake up and I want to work out. I want to run. And that's incredible to me.
It is
And
amazing. You just
yeah,
do
and
the.
I also wanted to mention like something that I've loved about running is I find that the more active I am, the more intuitive, healthy food choices have become. Like I crave healthy food options, and so I think it's a virtuous partnership.
Hmm. Yeah, and I hear this often. Folks say, "Well, when I work out, I, I don't want to damage what I just did, so I'd rather eat something healthy, so I'm not killing my own effort of working out."
Yes, yep, you got it.
Yes, yes. All right. So Chris, anything that you do after you finish your run? Any kind of stretches, any particular nutrition?
I always have a life shake or a combination of life shake and build protein. Uh, Something that a lot of people don't know, and we're trying to get the message out there, is that all of Shaklee Life Shake, including the Build and Build Plus protein, are rich in branched chain amino acids and fortified with additional leucine, which is the branched chain amino acid that has been clinically proven to aid in recovery and helping you lose the right kind of weight. And so you can find that also in Shaklee meal bars and snack bars. So a combination of any of those, and that can be adapted to your desired calorie intake, really help with the recovery process. And so I would say that every time I finish a run, I go to one of those options.
Very nice. Yes, thank you. What do you take on the run? If it's a long distance run, what's in your pockets?
Well, on last Friday, I ran 40 miles around Manhattan, and I was actually surprised I didn't take as much as I thought I might need, but I had 3 meal bars in my pockets and then some energy chews.
Okay.
And luckily and a water bottle, of course, and luckily there were places to fill up along the way. And so I ate those about every 10 miles and had energy chews about every hour. And that really just got me through famously. I felt great. And of course, afterwards, I stopped by a Chipotle and had a burrito on the way to my hotel room. But
Scratch that out.
exactly. But it helped me. It really gave me what I needed for the run.
Isn't it amazing how our body has so much reserve and energy that we don't realize? We think that we need to eat, eat, eat. And when we eat less, our body still has enough to burn and we actually get more energy.
Right. For me, it's like a consistency thing. I just need to, you got to refuel the car at a consistent rate and it will perform well for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. Very nice. All right, Chris, and mindset. I'm wondering, when you run so long, what are you thinking? Are you preparing yourself mentally somehow, especially if it's a race? Can you give us any tips? What do we need to know about our mind?
Well,
What
I
kind
think,
of tricks can it play on us?
well, yeah. Oh, the trick question. Well, the biggest challenge I have is definitely on morning runs, just getting out of bed and leaving the house. And that's why I feel like I do that countdown to 5
Mm,
and I have to like stop thinking. I have to turn my brain off, count to 5, and then just get that momentum to where I leave the house and start. And then oftentimes it can take me 2 to 10 miles in order for my brain to feel like it's in a flow. So, but I think the tricks. I've found that the tricks often come when I am nutritionally depleted in some way.
oh,
And
wow.
I've learned to recognize those and find Shaklee products that kind of target that. One thing I do often get is, hydration, definitely. You need to stay hydrated.
Right.
But I call it goofy feet. And that's, maybe you've experienced this too, but like I can feel that I'm just sort of kind of unraveling. And I've discovered that what helps me best with that is our low calorie electrolyte drink. And sometimes I'll just like open it up and take it directly and then wash it back with some powder if I don't have, some water if I don't have time to mix it.
Uh-huh.
So I found that is when my body is not being properly hydrated, is I feel mental fatigue and I feel kind of clumsy. And that really helps me get me back into the zone. So that's one I have struggled with a lot. And then also, I think you can have a bad run, and or at least I have before, or I wasn't as fast as I thought I would be, or it just didn't work out. And I've had that affect me for months at a time, where I just feel like there's a cloud over my desire to keep going. And during those times, I find that I have to slow down and trust that I really do love this and that it will come back to me. And so I have to kind of be patient with myself.
Be patient. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess just bringing yourself again back to why you actually started running and why you
That's
love
right.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So what I hear you saying, the first trick our minds can play on us is where your body is physically not prepared.
Yeah.
Nutrition and otherwise. Yes. Wow. I can agree with that. So preparation is a big part of the success
Indeed.
nutritionally. And also what I was thinking when you were sharing is like prepare yourself with gadgets. Maybe I do have my headset with me in case it's the time to plug my ears, but I almost never use it. I have it just in case for the
Yes.
music, for the motivational book. Speaking of, what are you thinking about when you run? Sometimes I do listen to our Shaklee webinars because that's the time I got, 2 hours to kill when I run, and I listen to those. And listening to your body is really, really important. That's why I don't almost never listen to anything, because I want to focus on my body, see how I feel, any tension, breathe into the tension when I run. And I really enjoy outdoors, just as you said at the beginning, it's running towards you. What I noticed is when I run outdoors, I find myself. The
Yes.
nature feeds me, the sounds, the birds. I try to run in the parks if I can. Not always happens, but there is still this fresh air of outdoor. Just feeds your soul, feeds your being.
Yeah, I have found that as well.
Yeah. And would like to finish with that big why. Always like we create in the vision in our business, in our life, and the same thing, your vision in running, your vision in long distance walking or jogging. Why are you starting it? Why is it that important? What is available in your life when you're actually successfully doing it? Maybe even vision yourself completing that first 5K, completing that first half or full marathon. What is possible after that? How your life might even be changing, isn't it? That's inspiring. I'm ready to run.
Yes, it is. And I find that people are really hesitant to call themselves athletes. I know when somebody called me that, I thought, oh, wait a second, that's not me. Who are you talking to? Is it
I
somebody
know.
back there? Is it Tyler George back here? But my definition of athlete has changed. It's anyone who is trying to make a change in their lifestyle or their physical routines. Like if you are actively taking any small step towards that, I consider you an athlete.
Right. Wow. Thank you, Chris. I join every word you just said. I think this is a great note for us to stop. Chris, thank you very much for your reflections, for your sharing. I've always wanted to know how you do it. So now I believe we have a really great idea, and thank you for everything you shared with us tonight. And folks, if you have any questions, Bob, if you're monitoring the chat,
I am right here. I am right here. If anyone has a question and they want to ask, just pop it in the chat. Otherwise, wow, what a remarkable conversation. I've loved it.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't see anything coming up right yet, so take it away.
All right, Chris, any final words before we go?
Thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure to be on the call, but also to get to know you and Bob over the past year since we've collaborated on conference. And that's one thing I do love about this community is the support. And we really do have like-minded people who want to make changes, healthy changes, and be a good influence. And so that makes me tremendously proud and gives me a sense of purpose. And so thank you both.
Well,
Thank
Chris,
you
I have a
for-
question. I have a question.
Yes.
Now it's burning.
Nadia, what do you have?
We had such a beautiful pure performance club, so much at the last conference. It was amazing. All the options for us for any flavor of fitness. What shall we expect this year?
Well, hopefully we'll be making our announcement on March 1st. So you can look forward to that. But I do look forward to creating an experience similar to last year, and also taking our learnings. Everything wasn't perfect, but we are working towards a even better situation this year with many options, more times, more activities to fit the schedule that we have, so that you can take that break to recharge before, in between, and after all the sessions that we have.
Very nice. Very excited. Yes, last year was really amazing, Chris. Thank you for bringing so many options for us. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And I can note that we will have a full-fledged 5K with awards for different age groups in, I think right now we're looking at in 10-year increments. And so we want you to be part of that Shaklee Cares 5K, and would love for you to start thinking about that now. It'll be a great course for walking or running. And even if you want to volunteer, we would love to have you all there.
I'll be ready.
Yeah, me too. All right, looking forward to it.
Thank you both very much for a most enlightening conversation. And folks, we'll get this up in archive, both the sound file on the podcast and on the new YouTube channel. You can look for ShakleeTalks YouTube channel. That's in all of the Facebook posts. So thank you all very much. And thank you all.
Thank you, Chris.
For joining
Bye.
us. Take care. Good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night.